love me and you need me, then you ain't allowed to leave me. If you love me and you need me, then you ain't allowed to. Black eyes, bruised necks, broke ribs, this nigga ain't shit. First seed, never seen, miscarriage, you can explain this. Name calling, self-esteem getting low, you can feel a pain hit. I told you a kid wouldn't change shit, you thought he was riding, he lane switch. Same nigga, lame nigga, put you down, he would never lift you up. Ass whoopings, more scars, more pains, now your body giving up. Death coming, heart stop.
I'm talking like this.
So we got Sabrina in today, and we have also Tanya, aka London. Who phone is ringing?
That's mine.
So we got London in today. It's been a while, right, girl?
Yeah, it has been a little while.
You been
Dealing
going
with
to school?
finals. Yeah, I'm tired, man.
Yeah.
Tired, draining.
You been going to school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So we got Sabrina in today. Now, what happened is, Sabrina hit me. She inboxed me and said, how did she go about doing, you want to do a documentary at first, right?
Yes.
And then I suggested that she should do her own show, not a podcast, but a show as if I was saying like she should do she do the first episode where she tell her story. You know what I'm saying? What she been through. But don't give the full story so that they look forward to the next episode, right? So then when she does episode 2, she tells the rest of the story. But in the midst of that, it'll catch traction because your story is not a unique story at the end of the day. It's most common in your typical hood or your typical black family or even white families, families period.
Right.
But I felt like if you would have did the episodes, people probably would have inboxed you, wanted to tell their story, and then, the next episode you go to the next person and you say, you want to tell your story? Because I feel like it's a big relief, I guess. Once you tell it, whatever you're going through, I'm not saying, I don't know, but I don't know what I'm saying. I'm guessing once you tell a story, it might be like a relief off your chest where it's like, I got this off now. I feel much better. Whatever I'm going through, I can look past it. But I felt like other people would have inboxed you and like, I've been through this when I was young, then you could just talk to them. How about you come on the show? And then you help people as you're going. I mean, you still can do it at the end of the day.
Right. That's the plan.
But that was my suggestion to her, like to do a show and the show could carry on. Even if somebody inboxed you and told you their story and you say, you know what, if you don't want to tell your story, how about I tell your story for you? And you could still just would have been an ongoing, episode thing.
It's my boo.
You walking in here? What are you doing? You coming in?
I'm just gonna let y'all do y'all thing.
You're gonna be on camera.
You want to be on camera?
Well, then don't.
But you gonna stand up the whole time?
I'm gonna listen, yeah.
I don't like you standing right in front of me like that. I feel like that you just watching me. Sit back here. Sit right here. Sit tall ass over here. This is Wade, by the way. I know Wade a long time. I actually told you your lady the story when you came home. I thought you snitched on me.
What?
You know what I told you?
Oh, I told him you went.
You didn't tell on me. Remember I told you when you came home, I was like, yo.
Can we stick to this,
I'm about to
please?
understand what's up.
My God.
Black people.
Can we do this off the record?
Remember when I used to be getting always, and you
Oh,
got
you
bad,
talking about- yeah.
and I'm like, I got scared.
Oh,
You got
you talking about back in the day?
this is bad. I ain't talking about now. I'm talking about when you was younger.
Oh, yeah,
you got
yeah.
bad. I was scared. I'm like, fuck. I just hit him with some work. You know what I mean?
I got caught all of that.
Yeah. So I got scared. I'm like, he gonna tell on me. You don't want to tell that story?
Nah, I'm not.
Well, you got horrible memory, man.
Good thing you didn't tell on him. Let's clear that up.
Nah, he didn't.
On the record.
You know these.
Well,
On
nah,
the record.
I
you
was
didn't
still
tell.
like, cause you caught a few cases. Are you on probation or anything right now?
Nah.
Oh my God, this is a God-fearing working man. What is going on here?
Yeah, but I was still scared to death. Like, this nigga might tell me you got other cases
Oh
going
my
on,
God.
but he didn't, because he's a stand-up
Well,
nigga.
I did a couple months for that.
Right,
He's
God-fearing. All right now.
He's a stand-up nigga. But
Continue.
That got me on camera looking crazy. I'm just coming from
You
work.
ain't nothing wrong with
Here.
that. Ain't nothing crazy about coming
money,
from
right?
work.
Yeah, I'm just
I mean,
saying.
your hair ain't combed and nothing like that.
I don't think he can see.
Let's stick to the shit. Let's stick to
Boo
the shit.
boy having it about her boo. You better
So-
pipe down.
We got Sabrina, so that was my thing, telling her, I was telling her about the episodes. I feel like, but you still can do that possibly.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna steal your
You
idea.
can still, it ain't my
Don't
idea, it
sue
was your
me.
idea. You just happen to ask for a little insight, so basically it's yours. I just gave
Thank you.
Somebody called me today
Because
too.
I have had about this.
No, about
Oh.
another joint, and I'm just out here, man.
Yeah,
I'm
I
out
have
here.
had some people inbox
Yes,
me
man.
with this, like they ready to participate. So
So you can take this
Nice.
on and If
Yeah.
I didn't think people would be so willing to want to
I
speak
didn't
about it.
either. That's the reason why I decided to
is.
go first.
Yeah, so
to make people
maybe
feel
you
more
can do it at your
comfortable.
house or you
Right.
got a basement or you can even come here. You get deals.
No, I'm good. My basement is free.
I'm just saying, but if you want, anyway, so let's start. Is all my
Look,
phone
everyone
died?
is asking what's the topic. Well, just
Read the fucking thing. It's
be
on the,
patient.
the topic is on.
He said
it's in
what
the
the topic
description.
was. It's in the description, but
I
you guys
no,
have to be
no,
patient.
listen. So Sabrina hit me, and before she hit me, you put a post up on Facebook. What was the post?
The post was, what I'm calling it is like be the voice.
Right.
I want to call it the Be the Voice movement because.
What was the original post you put up, yo?
Let me tell you.
Okay, I was making sure.
I put up a post saying that I wanted to do like a PSA
Mm-hmm.
type of thing where people tell their stories about child molestation or sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel, and from my experiences,
And that's what you put in there. My experiences.
it's not spoken about or
At all.
handled the way that it should be handled.
Right.
And it's very common, too common.
Mm-hmm.
And even from me posting that and having so many people inbox me.
Did anybody inbox you about that? I mean, when I seen it, I was like, whoa. Yeah, I didn't even. I just left it alone. Like, I don't know.
I had one girl who inboxed me. She was all for it. I had somebody from like East Orange, from somebody reposting my thing, inbox me. Then I have one girl who inboxed me who wants to be anonymous. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to do it.
We do anonymous here where that we can knock the voice out and have to
We
be
know.
seen.
I
I'm just
saw.
saying, but if that's what you want to do, we
I'm
got
gonna
that.
ask you about that too.
You know, you
I know.
can block the person out and they can just tell their story anonymously. But
Okay.
so I seen that, and when I first seen it, I'm like, wow, you know, that's big that you stepping up to even say. Because when you put the post, you basically said my experience, so I
Right.
knew that something you've been through. So then you inboxed me, I just told her so, whatever. So, how old are you now?
28.
28. Let's talk about your experience. So, where was you staying at this time?
I was living in Jersey City
Mm-hmm.
with my grandmother.
Not your parents.
No.
Why is that?
My parents were going through their own life experiences at the
Mm-hmm.
time. So it caused me to have to be raised by my grandmother for
Okay.
some years.
Right. And how old was you at that time?
From what I can remember, because I'm only going to talk about what I can remember, because I don't want anybody to make it seem like I am fabricating anything.
Don't worry about that. Just
I'm just saying.
oh yeah, we can talk about that, but
We talk
you don't
about
have
that.
yeah,
But
that's, you don't have to do that.
I want to say second grade,
Right, and that would be typically
6 years old.
Right. So you moved with your grandmother.
Yes.
You moved with your grandmother when you were 6, or was it younger than that? Or
I just remember second grade.
right, I'm
I
guessing
know
that
when I was in kindergarten, I was in Brooklyn.
Mhm.
First grade, I have no memory of. Second grade, I have memory of.
because of the issue.
Yes.
So what happened when you were 6? What was your situation?
When I was 6, like I can't recall the first time. I just recall experiences. So I'm not gonna say this was the first time that this happened to me.
Right.
But I have experiences that I can remember very well. And I was molested
Right.
by
At 6
a
years
family
old.
member, yes.
Okay.
Who was,
Who was he to you? Was it him or her?
it was him.
Okay.
It was a cousin, my cousin.
How old was he?
I want to say that he was like 15, 16
Right.
at the time. And that's just like what I remember of it starting and just the experiences that I went through.
Mhm.
Very traumatic,
Right.
even as an adult.
Right.
I still have anxiety about things pertaining to sex.
Right.
I don't like to wear lotion.
Right.
My boyfriend know I'm always ashy.
Right.
If I'm not going outside, I'm not putting it on.
You dark skin too.
I know, but look,
So is there a relation there? Like
Yes.
is with okay.
All right. So, do you recall? You say you don't recall the first time. Do you want to talk about what happened? Do you want to explain any things that happened?
sure, yes.
So, what do you recall?
Okay, I'll start off with a story because I can't just pick one and choose.
So is this one time thing or what?
No.
Occurring?
Yes.
Do you have siblings?
Yes.
Were your siblings in the house?
No.
So you were the only one who had to go
from-
with your grandmother?
Yes, because my brother and sister went with their grandmother.
Okay, got it.
There was a time when, I don't know if my grandmother was at work. I don't know if this was during the school year. I don't know if it was during the summer. I just remember being in my grandmother's house in Jersey City and...
Talk a little louder, please. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You don't have to talk to the mic.
because the mic
Just
is
speak
not
out
on.
loud.
Okay.
I know it's hard because, yeah, but...
I had a cousin who this also happened to, my favorite cousin, and she was at the house at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember feeling safe because
Right.
she was there.
Right.
I remember feeling like, okay, he ain't gonna do nothing because somebody else is here.
Right.
You know, so minding our business, we in our grandmother's room,
Mm-hmm.
and he calls me, and he says, Sabrina, and I didn't answer at first, and he called me again. And I went in the living room. And when I went in, my grandmother had a walk-through apartment.
Right.
So I had to leave out of her room to get to the next bedroom to get to the living room.
The typical apartments.
Right. So I went in the living room and there was like a fort. It was like pillows, blankets.
Or like a tent type of...
Yeah.
Okay.
Connected from one couch to the other couch to the other couch.
Right.
So when I seen it, I was confused. I was like, yes, you know, he didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back in there.
When he called you, was he inside the tent? Or
I
was he
didn't see him,
Okay.
so I'm assuming he was in the tent.
Right.
So I went back in the room. My cousin was like, you know, what did he want? And I was like, I don't know. He didn't say anything.
Right.
So he called me again, and I went in there, and he goes, go get me some tissue from the bathroom.
Right.
So I tried to go over the tent.
Right. Like knock it down.
And he was like, if you go over this tent, you're going to get in trouble. I'm going to beat your ass.
Right.
And I was like, that's when I knew. I was like, you know, fuck. Like, okay, now I got to go under the tent.
Right.
And I went under the tent, and he was under the tent, and he didn't have any pants on. And, you know, I was trying to get past him to go to the bathroom, but he stopped me. And then I knew he really didn't want no tissue, which I already knew. And that was the first time that he made me give him oral sex. And, you know, he just, you know, kind of took my face, you know, it was like,
Oh,
you
he
know,
forced you to do it.
coerced, like, taught me,
Right.
you know, showed me what he wanted me to do. And, like, the thing with the head, I don't like that.
Right.
It bothers me.
Can I stop you?
Sure.
Does he know about all this already?
He knows that I went through stuff, but
I mean,
he's not
does he
comfortable
know-
with me. Like,
You
the
wanna sit right here
the
through this,
issues
or-
that I have,
I'm letting her
he
talk.
knows what I
making
like
sure.
and what I dislike.
Nah,
He
I
does
know-
know
I
that.
know.
I'm not talking about sexually. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
whoa,
I'm just-
whoa,
'cause that's
whoa.
what we was talking
Whoa,
about.
no. I'm talking about, does he know your stories?
No, nobody knows my
Nah,
stories.
All right, so
I know
are
what
you
happened, but I
comfortable-
don't know the stories. But
Are
Your
you
phone, because my
comfortable?
phone just
You
died.
comfortable sitting here while she tell it? All right.
I need to
I don't like to hear it though, but
pay attention.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could put some earmuffs on or something. All right, so that's not the first time, but that's just one memory. Yeah, make sure that it's still live. I don't want to. That's just one memory of that issue happening. Was it any times it was penetration or anything like that, or?
There was times where he tried to penetrate me, but what I think is that it was too painful for me, so he didn't continue.
Was this like an everyday thing? Because you live in there at this time.
Right.
Was this an everyday thing or just?
Did he live there?
I don't want to say that he lived there,
He was there often.
or he was just there for the summer, or if he was just there to watch me because he was older. I just remember him being there.
Right.
So, what did you ask me? I'm sorry.
Did this happen like an everyday thing? I'm guessing since if it's
I
coming in
don't.
summer.
It wasn't like an everyday thing because my grandmother didn't leave me alone. You know,
So-
but if he was watching me, it was gonna happen.
He So what's the thing with the lotion then? Why you want to stay ashy?
Because there was a time when, he took like all his clothes off, and he took all my clothes off, and he basically fondled himself with lotion in front of me, and took my hand and showed me how to do it, what he wanted me to do, and then things just changed, and he took a bunch of lotion and put it on himself, and he kind of opened his legs and put me on his lap and kind of like slid me up and down on his
fucking creep. He's a fucking creep.
So the lotion, like the smell of it,
now,
it just makes me like.
Is there any specific lotion?
It's all lotion, probably.
It's not like I like flavor stuff.
Okay.
But I want to say that this was like a
love smelling
Jergens.
that dumb shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Even though I really don't wear it, it like.
Lotion period. Just I'm guessing the feeling or.
I'm trying to get her ass some Vaseline.
You annoying. Get her some baby oil.
Some shea butter or something, nigga.
Shea butter. Yeah, get her some shea butter.
Some thick ass shea. You might get some Nivea. That's great. Nivea's great. That's not. It smells different. But so lotion period. Is it? I mean, the smell or is it just the texture?
I think I've gotten better with wearing lotion, right? Like I put it on now. Cause like.
Wait, make you put it on? No. I mean, like y'all went to like Donny Park or some shit. I'm like, bitch.
Now, if I gotta go out and show my legs and stuff, I'm not gonna go out at just like mad white,
fresh out the shower,
legs. But out the shower, I can get straight into bed like no lotion.
Nah, put some lotion.
I mean, it's different when you're in the house.
Yeah,
like you
but when I'm out in public, I'm not gonna walk around with ashy knees. I will put the lotion on.
Is it like hard to put on? You like, God damn, I gotta use lotion.
No, but I just don't like it. Like I want to wash after. I don't like the feeling of lotion on my skin. It makes me feel dirty.
I mean, I'm guessing it gives you the feeling or memory.
Yeah.
How long? How long you think this went on? Is this 1, 2? Can you? I don't want to give it a number to it, but I'm guessing this has happened often. What was the range? Did it stop at 6? Did it continue at 7, 8, 9, 10?
I just have memories of it, and I just remember it just stopped when my grandmother found out. And
well, how did she find out? And that's what Wendy Green wants to know. Did your family turn against you? And she says that you're very strong. Yeah.
All right. So with that, when you said this happened, it happened to your cousin as well. Mm-hmm. Did y'all speak up on it, or was you too afraid? Because at that age, it's common. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes a kid is scared. They're more afraid to tell.
I mean, did it threaten you, or it was just you knew? Did you think that you wouldn't be believed, or
like the first story I just told you, like with my cousin being at the house with the tent and everything, like when I got I didn't like that,
right.
And I was kind of like refusing to do it, so he kind of got upset and just was like, just go. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when I went back in the room, my cousin, she was asking me a lot of questions. She was like, well, what did he want? She was very interested. And at the time, I didn't know that it was happening to her as well.
You don't think like
and I was like, I lied to her.
Is she older than you?
Yes. She's 2
years?
years older than me. And, at first I was just like, nothing. And she was like, just tell me. And I was telling her, and that's when we had the understanding that it was her and me. And then she was like, why didn't you say anything to me? And
at a young age, just scared to say something. I mean, you're more afraid of something.
When you're told that, you gonna get in trouble. Like when somebody hype it up for you, like, yo, you gonna get your ass. But like everybody know I was bad when I was a kid. I wasn't bad. I was hard headed. You tell me not to touch this, I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna get my own experience from it. Right. I got a lot of whoopings because I was hard headed.
Right.
And I didn't like that, but I kept doing stuff. So when he told me that I was going to get in trouble, I knew that this was not a normal thing because he was telling me that I was going to get in trouble. So it couldn't have been something that you wanted people to know.
Right.
But the fear of getting in trouble, even though I felt as though I wasn't doing anything wrong, I thought I was, I didn't say anything.
Right.
Except for to my cousin, but the same thing with her. She didn't say anything.
So, do you think any of your family members knew at this time? Because that was just your female cousin and the guy. Mm-hmm. Do you think there's any other family members that happened to? or you don't know?
I mean, I couldn't say because, you know,
Is it a lot
you
of
know how you
female-
have your immediate family and then
Right.
you got your whole family. Like it was kind of just like my uncles, my aunts, our kids.
Right,
you know,
right.
we was like this.
Okay.
So I couldn't really tell you if it happened to anybody else because I wasn't really around, and I left Jersey City at a young age.
Right.
So,
So did you say anything? I mean, what age did you build up to say? Did you say anything to your? You said your grandmother. I heard you say your grandmother found out. When did she find out? When you were younger? When you older?
this was when I was younger. I
How
want
old
to say
were you?
I was maybe in the 4th grade because I remember moving to Florida shortly after that.
Mhm.
And I started school 5th grade in
Right.
Florida. And, you know, I just came home one day. I want to say I was coming home from school because my school was right around the corner. And
In
I
Florida
walked home
or
in Jersey City.
Okay.
And I walked in the door and she handed me a comic book. And the comic book was about STDs and HIV.
Right.
Wow.
And she was just, you know, like, read this, you
Right.
know, and
And you said you're in 4th grade.
right.
Okay.
And I wasn't really reading it. I was just kind of looking
Yeah,
at
like-
it because in my head I was
Was it
thinking
more
like,
visual? You said it was
yeah.
a comic. Okay.
Just kind of thinking to myself like, why is she giving this to me?
Mhm.
And I just remember being like very, like scared,
Right.
you know, because I was like, this is I'm about to get in trouble because
Okay.
she knows
Oh, okay.
something.
Yeah. All right.
You know, so she just was like, you know, came to me and she was like, did something happen with, you know, such and such? And I was like, no.
What did she ask you? Or do you not want to disclose?
She probably
Did
said this
something happen
her
with such and
cousin,
such?
meaning the cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, no.
What
You
made
know?
her ask you that? Are you going to go into that? Okay.
Yeah. So, she was like, I was like, no. And she was like, don't lie. She was like, because I already know.
Right.
You know, she was like, but you don't have to worry about that no anymore because he won't be around.
Right.
So I was like,
I just gave you the whole.
you know, it was
Yeah.
like a sigh of relief,
Mhm.
you know, but then I was like,
How do
the
you
hell
know?
does she know?
Right.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm
And
saying?
how long have you known?
You know, so this, I want to say, I'm 28 now, so this was like 19 years ago, I'm going to say this conversation was. And I've never spoken to really anybody. I don't know if people felt as though I was supposed to be forthcoming with this, but I feel as though
They should be
I
reaching
should have
out.
been being asked,
Right.
you know.
If
But
they had
it was-
suspicions already.
Right.
If the grandmother asked you already, that means that it could have happened before you with another family member. I'm not saying that's what happened. I don't want to put that on your family.
Mm-hmm.
But her saying that could be him doing that. Maybe she found out about your cousin, or it could have been
I was just thinking that.
other
Did
Like,
the,
I
cousins.
don't know who she found out about first.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. Her saying that could have been he might have been doing this before you,
Right.
or
right, to other cousins.
other family members,
Right.
and I'm guessing she must have been going around
going
like,
out
maybe
all
ask-
down the cousins,
Yeah.
at all the
Well,
grandkids asking
see,
or something.
I just, you know, recently had a conversation with her, and I asked her how she found out because it's never been
To
a
this day,
conversation.
you didn't know?
Right. Wow.
It's never been a
I mean,
conversation.
people, when you shit like that, they don't want to.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, to reopen the can, or like so many years later, it's just like how I wondered, like, how did she feel about that conversation? Like, how did you make
She
her
just started
feel
the
about?
conversation when
Sunday.
Sunday.
Last
This was
week.
like, yeah, wow, right.
Yeah,
So
19 years.
can you discuss the conversation, or you don't want to talk about it at all?
No, I'm fine with it.
So wait, before you get into it, you called her to ask her about
no,
this?
I skipped out on church because you know I go to church every Sunday.
Yes, you do.
You do?
Faithfully.
I'm in there.
And
Like swim with
Thank God.
baby.
I just
I
went
told
fishing
you.
with the church. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see you go fishing.
I thought it was
I
Bree
love
taking the
fishing.
picture.
Nah, she
These
said-
motherfuckers on
she said-
the
she-
boat,
she
6
said-
o'clock in the morning, fishing and shit. Where the
Nah,
fuck
that's
is the
my
kids
shit.
at?
That's what I do. She said hurry up home. I seen that.
That was my
missed
first time.
but you know, I went there because I didn't feel like it was a phone
That's
conversation.
definitely not a phone conversation.
You know, me and my cousin,
Mhm.
and
Is your cousin okay with you saying?
yeah, we spoke.
Right.
And,
Would she ever come to?
she's
I mean, not
going
here,
to.
but I mean, is she willing
She's going to.
to go to the family, or
Oh, the family.
I mean, or she want to have to sit down with you and y'all talk?
She's gonna be a part of what I'm doing after this.
That's dope because then y'all can.
Right.
Do it
All
together.
right, but good. So you spoke to your grandmother.
So, I didn't bring it up. She brought it up.
Recently?
My grandma.
Why?
Now, wait. Was this before your post?
No, it was after.
Okay.
Because she brought it up
Okay.
about my
Somebody
post.
said
Okay.
something.
No,
Yeah,
she
she's
saw
my friend
the
on
post.
Facebook. my
She
grandma.
my friend
How's your
too.
grandmother?
Doesn't matter. She
No, 'cause how much did they fuck
My
you up?
grandma's in
Tech
her
savvy.
60s.
How much did they
and
have?
she
So
looks lovely.
is grandma gonna see this?
She's 60?
Probably.
Your
She's
grandmother
in her
I'm
60s.
about-
She's not 60.
They all
That's my
20.
mom age.
They dropping 20s. It's like 20 generations.
Her grandmother
20,
young as that.
So your great grandma
What?
still around?
My great grandmother?
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
I have no living. She's my only grandma that's living.
Yeah, I got one grandma. But go ahead.
Um,
So she seen the post.
She was, just
She
like,
had- she had to know
so,
what was
because
coming.
I was cooking her dinner and stuff. She was like, so what is this that I see or hear that you're going to be doing the book,
or something.
She
yeah.
thought it was like a book. And I was just like, ugh, because, that's what I was there for, but I was straight beating around. I'm cooking shrimp and, I'm not trying to even touch it, but I know that I have to. So
Well,
the fact that she
let me
brought
ask
it
you,
up.
cut you off. When was the last time you been to your grandmother's house? Before that?
Like a week before? Was it like a week or 2 weeks before that?
All right, so it wasn't like you just came out of nowhere and
No,
she probably
no,
was
no,
like,
no.
I ain't beating. What's up? What you want?
So she's like, so I was like, yeah, I want to, so I'm breaking it down to her or whatever. And that's basically how we got on the subject. So, me and my cousin, we were just like, how did you know?
Was your cousin there? Why?
Yes.
Okay.
How did you know? How did you find out? Because, it's never been we never
Y'all never
spoke
spoke.
about
Like a
it.
conversation, right.
So besides that, I mean,
Mhm.
not that I remember, okay? Because I don't want to say, my grandma was, not that I remember.
That's
This
many
is
years
from
ago.
my memory.
Mhm.
So she was just telling me that my grandma used to wash me. I remember this.
Mhm.
I was too big, I feel like, to be on her lap getting washed, but this is how she used to wash me. She used to, the toilet was like, the sink was where you at and I'm the toilet.
Mhm.
And she used to put me on my back and, she used to wash me up.
Right.
So she said
Grandmother's
that
love.
I had a discharge. And she said that when she used to wash me down there, I used to be like flinching and say that it hurts. So she took me to the emergency room.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Going to the emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
At that young age.
Yes.
Okay.
What transpired for you to have to go to the ER though? Like, was there an incident that happened that day?
Not that I recall that day, but I
You
guess
flinched?
it was signs
pain
showing
of
that
urinating
something was
or
going
something,
on.
and she-
Yeah,
to the
I
ER.
guess what
And-
she said when she flinched, she probably was like, that ain't normal. Why
Yeah,
are you
like
doing that?
she was washing me and
She probably
started
asked you
noticing-
questions, but you probably don't remember.
Yeah. So,
So do you remember anything like after you went to the ER? Do you remember what the doctor said and all that stuff? Like,
I remember, when I remember her washing me and her looking like something was not right.
okay,
And I
so she had a
remember
phase.
the feeling of being like nervous.
Right.
Like I was like,
Scared.
Thinking that you had done something wrong or you were gonna be in
like
trouble.
I was like, oh my God, but she took me to the emergency room. I remember going to I didn't know it was the emergency room. I just remember being the doctor. And I remember being checked. And I remember them telling her that I was not penetrated.
Right.
I don't remember if they said that I had like a UTI or, what the discharge was from.
Had you been penetrated at that time?
No.
Okay.
He tried that time.
Right.
I was never penetrated.
But he
And
tried.
he
he
attempted.
tried to penetrate me.
Yeah, okay.
So she told me that, once they told her that, she started paying closer attention to us and stopped leaving, us alone together. And,
How long after that emergency room visit did you come home and she give you the...
I don't know.
No? Okay.
I don't remember.
When she went, and I guess she found out, she said the cousin was gone, so I guess she told him not to come back. Was that the only thing that was brought up, just to say, yo, leave? There was no repercussions, or you have no idea? Did you actually, when you...
Sunday when I asked her, and she said that she spoke to him and he denied it. And, she said that she got on him really bad, and,
What does got...
She
I don't know
Yeah,
if she
she
meant
got-
that she
yeah.
was just like telling him like what are you
Yeah,
doing,
what was
like
that?
why, like she didn't get into detail. I didn't ask, because I did ask like, well, what did he say when you asked him? And she said that he denied it. And
What did you say to her when she said that he denied it? Like, did she say that with, like, she was convinced or...
No, I don't think she was convinced. I didn't ask. She just was just saying that, you know, but she knew.
She
You
knew
know
that
what
he
I'm
had done
saying?
it.
She knew that he had done it. So, as far as my cousin, I can't tell her story because on Sunday when I did sit down and speak, she told me that she remembers my grandmother sitting both of us down and telling us that she knows, you know, don't worry, she took care of it. This is it. Like, you know, this is not something that we're going to discuss.
Was police involved, or I mean, you
Of
probably,
course not.
but you never know. No.
You know, no. You
The
know,
other family members know besides your grandmother?
no.
Have you spoken to any? Does your mom know about this?
She, like, my family knows, like, my mom, my dad, my
But it's not
aunt,
something that
but it's
is
not
spoken
something
on.
that anybody has ever been sat down and been like, okay, so,
Wait,
What
hold on.
happened?
Let me stop you. When did they find out, as far as your mother, your father, and whoever else?
okay, so
When
I
did
was in
they-
Florida,
Right.
and the cousin, okay, when I moved to Florida in 5th grade, the cousin that did this was in Florida, living with my dad.
The same cousin?
Yes, at the time, nobody knew.
Right.
You know, my cousin that it happened to me with, she came down for the summer, but I was moving. So, you know, when we walked in the house, we was just like,
What the fuck, B?
like, whoa. You know, but it was like, I'm not ashamed to say this. I'm embarrassed to say it. But I have sat around my cousin. I have joked with my cousin. You feel me? I have
What
drank
cousin?
with my cousin,
The-
my child molester. I have been to family functions with my cousin.
And have never spoken
And
on
I
it?
have never, because it was just the way that feel like I was told to go about it was to not say anything.
What about your cousin? Was it because they were
It's
like,
the same thing with
it
her.
was just like family?
So
it
you
was
have, so
just
you
like-
still have a relationship with this person?
No, not today.
Yeah, so when did your father, you're in Florida, when did your father and your mother,
Well, my mother was, you know, my father got his situation, you know, together before my mother did. So I didn't, you know, I went to live with my dad in Florida, and you know, my dad didn't know.
and
I
you
was in
understand
high
that the whole time?
school. I want to say that maybe I was either in the 9th or 10th grade because of the house that we were living
In
in.
Florida?
Yes.
Okay.
And my cousin had been sexually active.
He's much older.
My cousin that it happened.
The girl,
Yes.
she's older than you.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I guess her mother was, you know, getting on her because she was having sex.
Right.
And she said that she was like, well, I would never be this way if he didn't do this to me and Sabrina.
Whoa, in front of who?
And to her mom. So that was her way of saying
Yeah.
that this happened
Right.
to her, you know.
So that's how her mother found out.
And then that her mother called my father because I remember the day, like I was in the room with my father. He was counting some money. You know what I'm saying? I
It's
was
sad to say he's counting money,
because
right?
my dad like.
Ah, we don't want to
like,
whatever. Okay.
So you know he was. You know his phone rang. Now I told you I was always getting in trouble. I don't know. I feel like maybe as an adult I was always just rebellious when it came to listening because
That's like that
of
with every
the
kid,
trauma. But I don't know. Maybe I was just bad. But anyway, his phone rang. You know, and he picks it up, and all I hear is just like yelling in the background. And he was like, "What?" And then he just looked at me and he took the phone and he flung it across the room and it just broke into pieces.
Right.
And I just hopped up.
You scared.
And I just backed up because
Did
my
you
teachers
know?
was always calling.
So you thought it
You
was
know what I'm
that.
saying? So I thought I was about to get it. Woo! But it wasn't that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Come here," and I was just standing there,
Still
like,
thinking that
trying to
you're in
decide if I
trouble.
was gonna run or if I was gonna come. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, "No, just come here. You're not in trouble." So I sat down, and he was just like, did such and such ever do something to you? And I was like, no. He was like, Sabrina, don't lie to me. And I just got quiet. He was like, just answer me. I was like, yeah. And he just got up, you know, and whatever happened after that happened after
Was
that.
your cousin home at that time?
He was in Florida.
And you
Y'all
guys
was-
were in
y'all was
Florida as
too.
well.
Was
Yes.
he staying with you at the time?
No.
Oh, but he was
My
out.
grandmother was living in Florida because this is years later. My grandmother was living in Florida at the time as well.
Is this a cousin on your father's side?
Yeah, this is his father's family.
Okay.
This is daddy's side.
So who is that your father's
Nephew.
sister's son or? Okay.
So the father did You know what? I don't want to incriminate nobody. I guess your father handled it though. Did he talk to you about it ever again, or he just said, "I don't want to know no more"?
I don't remember
Right.
if he did or not.
Right.
I remember my stepmom saying something to me.
And what was that?
I remember
She
her
probably-
crying, and she
yeah,
was just
that's
like, you know, I'm just so sorry that happened to you, you know, and my lips are getting chapped, and you know, and that was just that, you know, and I don't know how we came to be to just be like one big happy family.
It seems like it
I'm
was
not going to
swept
say
under
so
the
much
rug.
of my father, because my father didn't speak to him for a very long, very, very, very long time.
Right. Do you see him still? Is he out here? Is he in Jersey? Is he in Florida?
He lives in Jersey, but
Is it?
the family doesn't speak to him for other reasons, so we don't,
There's no family.
There's no,
We don't get no contact or nothing like that.
no.
So if
Did he-
if wait a minute, so if the family was still speaking to him because of for whatever reason, would there still be a connection between you and?
Probably.
Did he ever apologize to you? Did he ever say anything to you?
So you guys had a conversation.
It wasn't a conversation. It was him coming up to me randomly and saying, you know,
Where was this? Where did he come up to you?
this was in Jersey City.
Like at a family function or?
No, we were just, everybody was just at, you know, the house. And,
Okay. Family gathering.
And he was just like, you know, I'm sorry for what I did to you. You know, it wasn't right. I love you, you know, and I hope you forgive me. And I just, you know, didn't really say anything because I never really addressed it. Like, you
Right.
know,
And
it
you
was
probably
something
weren't
that I
prepared.
probably wasn't even thinking about anymore.
Right.
Because it was just normal to be around him. It was like it never
It was
happened.
like nothing. So now.
I met him one time too.
You did?
How'd that meeting go? Did you meet him?
Did you know
that?
him?
She ain't
What
never
did-
tell me.
Oh,
So you met
before
him
then.
and didn't know that it was him? Well, that's probably a really good thing.
Yeah.
That's probably a really good thing.
So there's no contact with him now at all.
No.
Have you seen him? Would you speak to him now?
Yes, I would.
Why?
Because I'm grown. And I'm
Yeah,
I don't
understand
let me
you
tell you
She's
this.
good, honey.
I don't
Over
hate
to that
him.
nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not one of those type of people that like to harbor onto things.
Let me ask you this. I want to cut you off now because I think my shoes gonna die. I just want to get everything out.
Mhm.
Being that you went through that at a young age, I'm sorry, wait, I gotta do this, okay? Sexually, when you have sex with this guy right here,
Talk about
does it affect anything? I mean,
Yes.
all right, let's see.
Well, she already spoke on that in the beginning, and if you
Yeah,
weren't paying
but
attention.
but I'm saying we want to know details. I want to know, but
She did. She said she doesn't like lotion. She doesn't like her head being bobbled down
yeah,
on
but
penis.
but that don't mean do you still do oral though? Is the question. Does that if you go
I know my
down
dad's not
when
watching
you
this.
we grown, fuck all that. But when you
We got
do it
blocks
to
of
him,
respect.
does it
It's the
bother
respect
you?
thing.
I mean, because I'm
No,
thinking
it
if that happened at a
doesn't
young
bother me.
age, it would be like I don't.
Like what? Just to do the act in general? Does it bother me?
Yeah, you sucking his dick.
Oh my god.
Oh my God,
really?
Billy.
I'm
What
sorry.
the
I
fuck?
was trying to get to
No,
you act like
that's
we're
not
talking about.
She said
Alright, so
it's
when-
okay.
it's okay,
I want to
but
go
no
back
touching.
to the.
Is anybody asking any questions?
Yes,
We
people-
talking-
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
Watch,
okay, I'm gonna answer you.
No touching.
Um,
Like, don't touch my hand, nigga.
I don't-
touch my hand.
he does not do that to me.
Right.
He
doesn't
sometimes
what?
Because
does.
he
doesn't
But
what?
He's aware.
He does not. He's aware.
Okay.
We have a problem. Can I talk about that part?
Go
Is that comfortable with you?
What?
I don't like. I'm not gonna say I don't like to receive oral sex, but there are times when I get really, really freaked out. Like
Why?
because it makes me feel away. It gives me
we had a
it
couple
gives
of
me
times.
anxiety
Why though?
because I received it.
Oh, you received it from him as well. She never said that.
We just switching subjects, so you.
Nah, because you was. It's so much to think about at times
It's
of rush.
just a lot.
So he also.
Mhm.
How can I say? I don't want to be
Was
very
eating
perverted.
the-
He did oral to you at 6 years old.
I don't know if it was at 6, but I know during
He
his
did it
time
still.
span he did it.
So with him doing it, it's I guess he can do it sometimes, but then sometimes it's like,
I do it when she want it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. Like whenever she
oh,
wants.
so you just can't let him eat that cooch. No.
You know, Billy.
I gotta make it some type of laughter. I don't want the shit to just be all emotional. You know what I'm saying?
Whenever
Yeah.
she in the mood, I don't care. I mean,
Right.
I eat coochie every day if she want me to, but it's,
This is not that.
This is not a coochie episode.
But
He's like,
so
I
that
hate you
that does
guys.
affect you sexually.
Mm-hmm.
What about penetration wise?
No. I don't have a problem with
Sex.
I just
Okay.
had, because I was never penetrated.
What about you being on top of him?
I don't have a problem with that.
I only said that because of the.
I have a problem with fingers,
Okay.
the oral,
Right.
and
Give.
the head bobbing. Not the giving.
What you mean the head?
The
bob?
head touching.
Oh, him. Because your head got to bob regardless, but I
Right.
mean no.
If you know what you
no grabbing the head.
Yeah.
That sometimes does he forget?
Yeah, he does.
Because you know nigga be like, ah.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Nigga like, oh.
No, I mean,
So do you be like, what? Down.
Okay, so they're saying that
Thank
you should have better been prepared for a topic like this and to stay on topic.
Who's
I am
that?
on topic. We talking about
Are
what's
they talking
going
to me?
on. It's like,
Kanifa Wizmoody, she
That's
must
my
be
sister.
related.
No.
Oh, she said your language for the topic is making her uncomfortable.
all right,
That's my sister.
All right, so look, I'm gonna
Yes.
say why. I'm only saying this because I don't want it to just be so emotional and tight. You know, I want to make.
I have Sabrina's phone, by the
Yeah.
way, so that's me typing.
I want to make her laugh in the midst of this. I don't want to just be like, you know, and then all of a sudden you crying, and I want to give some type of laughter. I mean, even though it's not a funny situation at all, there's nothing funny, but I want to make you feel comfortable. I don't want you to sit here and be uptight, super emotional and shit like that. But
Right.
all right, let's just cut the dick pussy shit out. All right. I said it one time. I said it one time.
Nerve.
What's up? So what do you want to do from this point on?
I don't think that our viewers are done with their questions, so it's not about
Oh,
what she
oh,
wants
no,
to do.
you know what? I didn't even-
I
let me
want to
get to the
know.
question. Give us a-
Yeah, no, I want to know how does your grandma, like, how do you feel about
What happened?
towards your grandmother? Like, do you feel like it was swept under the rug? Do you feel like it was
How much
addressed
time?
properly?
What's the
Do
time?
you 47 minutes? Do you feel like his apology was sincere and genuine? Like, do you feel like, would you allow him around your kids? Like, has he been around your kids alone?
No, of
Definitely
course
not.
not.
That would never happen.
yo, I mean, go ahead.
How do I feel towards my grandmother? I love my grandma so much. I have a different type of love for my grandmother because she raised me,
Right.
and
It's always every grandmother.
you know,
you
so
love your
that's
grandmother
that.
more than the
You
world.
know, I don't have any type of hate in my heart towards her. I just feel like, you know, cause it's deep, okay?
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that can understand why my grandmother did not say anything to our parents.
Right,
But that's something else. That's not my story to tell.
right.
So, you know, I just wish that she would have told our parents because maybe they would have gotten us some type of counseling as children
Okay.
so that when we're adults,
You
we
wouldn't still
don't
be
go
going through it.
through things like
You're going through now.
now
Right.
because it's necessary. And that is the reason why I'm doing this because it's way too common. Like, it's so common and nobody likes to talk about it.
Right.
Like,
Somebody
I know that there
Somebody
are
said
people...
that. What's Shorty name?
Nikki,
Yeah,
her post.
yeah. She said something like that. But actually,
Yeah.
actually, Duke said it first.
Oh, I don't know who Duke is.
Yeah,
But I seen hers. Is that the one you tagged me?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just feel like it's very common. And I feel like there's just so many... Rape, sexual assault is the most underreported crime in our country.
Right.
The most.
Hey,
When-
get the papers real quick.
Can you
She
give me
brought
those
some with her.
papers?
When people
Papers
speak
is-
about
The
it,
papers.
do you feel like they're judged or
I mean,
You know what? I'm sorry. Because you brought the kids up. That made me think. Does that make you super protective?
sure?
I mean, that has to be rough. You got to really trust to even have a babysitter now. around your kids.
Yeah,
I
my
mean,
kids
how does
go
that
to the same
affect?
people all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, does that affect you in a big way? Like, yeah, your mom's.
Like my mom.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like regardless of anything, it has to feel. You know, since you've been through that, I mean, it gotta feel strange. But I don't trust. Regardless, it could be somebody real trustable, but you still might think in your mind.
Listen, I look
can't-
at everybody crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what
better.
I'm
I
saying.
would never accuse somebody of doing something unless my child tells me that it was done to them, or if I start noticing, because I know the signs, because I went through them.
Right.
Do
So-
you have sit that like? Do you do like the whole role play? Because like Nine is gonna be 15, so I like my role playing with her is a little bit different. Like we role play night. Like if somebody was to hit the back of your car right now, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Like what would you do? And, you know, she starts like, oh God, I wouldn't get out the car. I wouldn't pull over. I close. You know, don't like. Do you role play with your kids?
You give
And
them,
like
that's what it is right there. Basically, exactly
This
what it is.
is, I know you guys probably can't see this, but
Tell them the
I
website
no,
first,
you can't.
please.
the website's not on here, but you
What
can
is that?
Google it,
Google it.
okay?
Early warning signs.
This worksheet is my body safety rules, okay? It says you should have a safety network. Your kids should have a safety network, meaning 5 people that you and your kids really trust. Okay, these 5 people, your kids should be able to tell anything.
Right.
You know, it's basically telling you the early warning signs, you know, teach kids what parts of the body nobody should be touching.
Right.
You know, tell your kids that if they have secrets or if somebody asks them to keep a secret, they tell somebody in their safety network.
Right.
I feel like these are conversations. I'm not going to say that people don't have these conversations with their kids, but
You
these
would
are
be
conversations
surprised.
that
You would be
people need
surprised.
to have with their kids, even when they don't think they need to have with their kids, because
Right.
there's really people that's closer to you.
Then you
Then
That
you
will,
think
yeah,
that will
and
prey
will do
on your
it
children.
more than someone, an outsider. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And
With this, you bring this up. Do you want people to inbox you? Do you want people? Because this is a really big step for somebody to even, you know, go about telling their situation, what they've been through. I mean, like you said, it's traumatizing. Do you want people that have been through the situation to contact you? Do you want them to, you know, maybe they could talk to you better than me, you know? Like I said, I felt like you should have did it on your own and had it to where people inbox you and you bring them on. I mean, you still can make the move. You know, I really appreciate you wanting to come on here and talk about it. But do you want people to inbox you, and I guess they will feel more comfortable talking to you because of your situation, so it's, you know, more helping.
right. I do want people to inbox me. Like I said, I have had people already reach out to me. This is not something that's going to happen overnight.
Right.
Progress is a slow process. So if you do inbox me, I just ask that everybody be patient, because I still am a mother, a very active mother. So I might not be able to get to you as fast as you might want me to, but know that I'm never ignoring anybody. I do plan on going forward with this, because I can't even tell y'all how many times people have told me, like, are you sure you want to do this? Or, you know, people going to be mad at you. And, you know,
It's a relief.
I'm not saying that people trying to stop me from doing it, but trying to stop me from doing it because of how it's going to make anybody else feel. But see, at 28, I feel like I should not be going through certain things emotionally that I'm going through. So this is my way of
letting it
Getting
out.
off
letting
your
it out.
chest.
And there's so many kids and adults that have experienced this, have never told
And never
anybody
told,
in their
right.
life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not healthy.
Mhm.
People get diagnosed with anxiety and depression.
I got a
and-
story. I ain't gonna tell my story. though.
I
No,
got
Oh my
one
God.
too.
no.
I like mine,
This
though.
is
But
Bree's story.
yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, but it's like the same
You
thing.
guys can be on my thing. How about that?
Yeah, but for a man, it's like a man is different from a female.
Yeah.
And it's worse.
It is.
It's worse when like, you know what I mean, for a young child, 6, 7 years old, like that's just, you know, that's.
Yeah, I mean, her innocence was stolen, and I feel like black families,
Don't say shit.
they
I know.
don't say anything. It's swept under the rug. I remember not too long ago, there was a young lady from Newark who went to a family member's funeral, and I asked them if they have any questions. If you guys have any questions, just ask them. She went to a funeral, and she went live with a family member, and on the line she's just saying like, hey cousin, this is the cousin who raped and molested me when I was in some magazine. I can't remember, I don't know if it was Ebony or Essence, someone Like,
he was dead?
Yeah,
no, he was
alive.
at the
She was sitting
funeral. They
next
were
to
at the
him.
repast.
Oh.
And
So
just
she was
like, yeah,
saying,
let me
this is
touch
my
it.
cousin,
Yeah.
and he used to touch me when I was little, and this man continued eating that chicken.
Like it
He
was
didn't,
nothing.
like it was
He said,
nothing.
yeah.
He didn't say a fucking
That was
word.
a- that
And that's
was
how
a
you
year
knew
ago.
that it was true. And it's so prevalent in black communities.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with the kids, you know, not being with their mothers or being with the grandparents, and the grandparents are working and they're being left with, you know, uncle this person or cousin this person, and these things are happening, and then you're not really paying attention to your kids and not
Because you're not-
noticing.
because you're not thinking a family member would do that to you, to another family
Right, and this
member.
is why it's very important for people to pay attention.
Do you think it's worse in families? Like, is that the
Absolutely.
most? That's the most common
Yeah,
thing.
I would feel like I'd rather be
Absolutely.
a stranger.
It's just so it's sickening how common it is, and it's sickening how many people don't stand up for these kids.
Right. Do you
No,
think-
Let me tell you
no.
something.
Black families protect I feel like they protect the person, the abuser, and they want to keep it in the four walls. This is not something that's going to be discussed outside of here.
Right.
There
I'm
will
gonna
be no
ask both of
cops
y'all, 'cause y'all
involved.
females. Do you think that it's because they don't say nothing because they don't want people to look at the family?
Absolutely.
a certain way,
No,
like, oh my God,
you
did
don't
you hear
want
about
the
Shanice?
judgment
Oh my
Not
God.
knowing that 2 houses down is probably
happening there
too.
as well.
right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
And it's just like, I feel like somebody needs to do. I mean, you can Google stuff and you can
I
find
think
stuff out,
families are
but
too hung up on being judged
Yeah.
and the judgment being placed opposed
Not
to
knowing that
addressing the issue.
you're causing so much
Pain.
to somebody.
And that
Like,
child could end up hurting themselves.
yeah, like, and people wonder why people be out here when they get older and they be having sex with this person
Yeah.
and they be doing this and they be doing that.
You don't know what
You would
happens
never
from growing
think
up.
because you never cared enough to try to help them get through that.
Right. So with that being said, you think from this moment on, all parents should talk to their kids,
Yes.
regardless of. You know, I'm not gonna say a lie. I always.
Zakara Casado says she doesn't think it's just black families. She
Definitely
thinks
not.
No, I said
she
in the
thinks
beginning.
it's
It's definitely
dysfunctional
not.
families.
It's not dysfunctional
I
families.
said all
It's
families, yeah.
families. It's just families.
White,
You
black,
just have
Hispanic, it's
people
all
in
the
their
same.
families that do things like that. It's not all families. It's not just black families. It's not just white families. It's not just Spanish family. It's people.
People. Okay.
Whether you're dysfunctional or not. I'm
It
not going to
happens.
put a label on anybody. But what I wanted to do is because I am a black female and I know how common it is in black families, I'm talking about my experiences.
Right.
But I'm not just, taking away from anybody because this can happen to anybody at any age at all. But I think that whether you're black, you're white, you're Spanish,
It need
anything,
to be
She
announced.
said
She
she
needs to
said that
speak
we're
up.
taught to protect our abusers, and Patrick says, "Why do you think black families keep quiet? Because of the judgment.
The
They
judgment,
don't
they
want
want
to
people
be.
to judge, and they don't like
You
people.
don't want outsiders in your business, and that's why what goes on inside the house. Like, you ever notice those families who, the young girl, the
What goes
young
on in this house stays
right,
in
or
this
the young
house.
cousin gets pregnant and then she's shipped off to South Carolina for 9 months, and then she comes back to Jersey, and that's because she had a baby, and now this distant aunt is raising this kid, and this kid is growing up thinking that the aunt is the mother, and then 25 years later this big family secret comes out, and boom, that's how it happens.
Series. I need to turn into a series.
But it happens,
That's
though.
so
It
common.
really happens.
you
I
just
know.
got to find the people.
And
to
They're
make
out
some
there.
stuff off.
Listen, I got 5,000 friends. I know
Okay.
one of y'all thought
Any
y'all
more
aunt was
questions?
your
We
mama.
gotta get out of here, man. I need to go home. Any more questions? Skim up. Maybe add some.
No, that's it. Wendy said that's why there's no whispering allowed. I guess she doesn't allow her kids to whisper.
Yeah. So you want to give me final words, last words?
Yes. I want to apologize if any of my family members are watching this and you are hurting because of the things that I am saying. I'm apologizing for the feelings that you're feeling. I'm not apologizing for what I'm doing. What I'm
glad you
doing
cleared that up.
is what I want to do because it's my experiences. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my cousin. I'm doing this for people that I don't even know who are watching this right now.
You're doing it for the abused.
I'm doing it for people who are abused, and I just hope that somebody is watching this. You know what I'm saying? If you know that your child, your grandchild, somebody close to you, something was done to them, and y'all just didn't take care of it the way that you should have, do it now. It's never too late, because people really be going through stuff that they don't speak about.
Right.
And it's just not fair to have to live like that because people didn't do what they were supposed to do. I don't blame nobody. I don't hate my cousin, as weird as it may sound.
Do you
I
have
don't
any
know.
resentment towards him?
Something could have happened to him that caused him to do it to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I have resentment. I don't have resentment for him. I have anger towards him because I feel like he took something from me.
Right.
And he caused me to be a way that I don't like about myself.
Right.
And it causes me to have an insecurity.
Do you think this right here will help you? I
Yes.
mean, being that you spoke
Because
about-
I've never,
Yes,
it's like,
you're gonna
I've
get a lot
never
of
told
inboxes, you're gonna get a lot of
anybody
people-
the
a lot of
stuff
people
that I
say-
told all of you people today. And I feel like if I was going to say it, I was going to say it to where I was going to be heard.
And I didn't
Well,
force you
people
to do
don't
this
think that
either.
you should apologize. Your sister said never apologize.
Did your sister know about this?
Zahira
whole time or
said,
no?
girl, those secrets will set you free.
I want this to be known. I didn't force her to come on here.
No.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
People be thinking like, yo, this nigga probably said, I didn't set this up. I told her from the rip, like, you should do it on your own. I think you should do it on your own. I'll record it for you. I'll help you edit, whatever, blah, blah. And then she just hit me like, you know what? I think I'm going to go on the
Oh, people
podcast
are
first.
proud of you. Keep bringing awareness.
Thank you. I'm going to post these on my Facebook page.
Now you gotta be super woke now on your
I've been
Facebook.
woke. I just
Well, I
been
mean,
quiet.
you
You feel me?
Ain't no quiet now. You already set the tone now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You know, Google some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Check your kids.
go to the library
I
with
ask
your
my
child
kids
and take out some
my daughter.
books.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? And
I
teach
used
your
to ask Naya
kids
when I was in prison.
where people should be
had a
touching them
dog
and what
named
people should be
Sebastian,
saying
and
to
I was
them
like,
and
no,
how to tell if they
don't
feel
ask me
uncomfortable,
that.
what
He's
signs
touching her.
your body is letting
Swear
you
to God.
know that makes you feel like you're nervous.
Right.
Even if, you know, because kids might think, well, this is my cousin such and such, so the feeling that I'm feeling can't be right because this is the person that is
Right.
around me all the time. No. If you're feeling that way with this person, it's wrong. If you're feeling that way with that person, it's wrong. Tell somebody in the safety network. Teach your kids about the safety network. Do some
Right.
research on your own. And have that conversation with your daughters and your sons. Because
You never
people
know.
out here is not right in the mind.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Thanks,
This is,
Bill.
you didn't shed a tear.
I told myself I wasn't going to cry. That's
You was
why I didn't bring
trying.
no tissue with
You
me.
was putting that
And
nail in there like,
I was,
keep that shit
I was
in
really
there.
doing it, though. You saw me. I was
Yeah.
like...
Got that fucking nail in it.
She had to stop her tear duct. That's the
It's all good though. I'm proud of you for even, you know, stepping forward. Like I said, when I seen the post, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I already felt like you took the leap already. You already took the leap when you said, our experiences. When I seen the hour, I was like, whoa, she's.
And I just wanted, like, to the girls that have reached out to me. And will reach out to me. I wanted to go first to make you guys feel comfortable, to let you know that this was something that I'm serious about. Not something that I'm just posting about and I'm going to forget about in a couple weeks. Like, this is something that I'm serious about, so I wanted to take the first step to
You know
let
what
you
you should
guys
do?
feel comfortable.
Every week, just make a little clip, Facebook Live yourself. Any girls out there want to talk about it? Like every week, just make some type of video and just say what you want to do. If anybody want to talk to me, you call me. I've been through the situation. If you want to know, go back to my previous post. You'll see my whole story.
Right.
And
I'm going to have like a little girls' night kind of thing, like a little bonfire at my house for the
Summer
people
coming.
that, you know, reached
All right.
out to me that are,
Nah, she
that
said
are
people that
sick.
reached out. No. Like a,
Well, wait, what type of girls' night? Because I've been to one of your girls' nights, and it was just,
no, she said.
I want to make sure, is this like a Christian girl? Is it like a Christian mingle type of thing? Or is it more
Absolutely
like,
not.
okay, so it's going to be a little
It's
ratchet
not
how the other one was?
ratchet. It's
Oh,
just
okay,
You
so
know
it's
what?
in the middle.
Discuss for the girls that are serious.
Okay,
A
okay.
get together.
This is
that-
a meeting.
Okay.
Who been through it? It could
Right.
be like a, hi, my
Are
name
you
is
sure?
Sabrina.
Like what you asked me.
Yeah.
Are you sure that you want to do this before
Right.
we go any further?
Okay.
Because I don't want to force anybody to talk about something that they're not ready to talk about.
I think people are going to reach out to you anyway, just because I think like you just kind of set.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
tone
you just was,
to-
I just want to get it out.
Yeah,
And
I
if
think
somebody
people are
don't
going-
know, go tell them. Even if you gotta tell your pastor, because I love my pastor. Tell your pastor. Tell
You
somebody.
think when you go to church
that
Sunday,
you-
they gonna clap when you walk in? Like,
Nah, I don't think no. I don't know. I don't know who's watching this.
come to the front, girl.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No.
Annoying.
But thank you for having me,
Thank you.
and I hope this helps somebody somewhere.
Was this anything new for you that you heard, or?
Nah, I mean, I ain't never heard like the actual.
Yeah, how did that make you
You know
feel?
what I mean?
I'm gonna do a little intervention for you. You
I
okay?
just- I mean, I'm good. We gonna talk about it. I'm proud of her though. Like, she been talking about this for a while. She took the first step, so I'm here to support her. I got her back.
Aww.
Shut up, man.
Annoying.
But no, she did everything though. So,
Thank you, boo.
maybe you might get rich. You never know. Start a book or something.
Yeah, you might get a program, a big
Something.
thing. This could
Called
really,
overlap.
this could really
I mean,
set
yeah.
up. Nah, it really could. Could really
Nah,
be something
You know,
major.
Oprah was a
Nah,
victim, too.
nah, that ain't a joke, my God. That could really be. She could really.
Ayanla trying to fix people's lives and stuff.
See, I wish she could fix
Bruh,
my shit.
just
It's
answer
so
my
in
email.
We don't
shambles.
want to hear your life, okay?
God.
This is
She
91.
won't answer my
We don't
email.
want to hear something.
I've been emailing this bitch for years. I'm serious.
Thank you.
No doubt.